of having American troops in foreign countries, especially places like Afghanistan that are basically primitive and will always be primitive. However, here are the risks. One, that the country would be taken over again by some lunatic group like Al-Qaeda, as it was before.
All right, but okay, let's just say that happens. What does that? I mean, what does that mean to us? I mean, what does that really mean?
Well, let me give you one specific. Okay,
but, I mean,
so they could foment another attack. They could use it as a base to plan another 9/11. But here's the more imminent problem, as far as I'm concerned, is Afghanistan shares a long, uncontrolled border with Pakistan, which is a big country with hundreds of millions of people and nuclear weapons, and a very unstable political scene. Those two countries there are a ton of Afghans living in Pakistan. It's totally conceivable that opposition to the government of Pakistan could group in Afghanistan, and you could see the government of Pakistan toppled and taken over by religious lunatics who would then have these nuclear weapons, which they would use to blow up India, say, or Israel, but most likely India. And then you get a world war with nuclear weapons.
Again, it sounds like, again, I understand that, and I appreciate that, but it sounds like we're worried about everybody else's business but ours. We're so worried about being the tough guys and the big brothers of the world that's all we're obsessed with it. And it's like we're spiraling out of control trying to worry about everybody else but what's happening in our homeland.
That's a really good point, and I agree with you completely. But think of it this way. For almost 1,000 years, Rome was the dominant empire in the world and kept the world pretty much under control. Rome falls, right, in 450 AD or whatever, several hundred years after Christ, and the whole world falls into what we call the Dark Ages, and we call them that for a reason, because it was a really horrible, violent, nasty time where people lived in squalor and killed each other at will because no one was in charge for 1,000 years.
Here's the way I figure, my friend. Why would we have a 250,000, 300,000, 400,000 people over there worried about that when how much stronger would we be on our homeland if we had these men and women over here?
No, but here's my point. We are the world's policemen.
That's the problem.
I don't think we ought to be. I don't think it's good for America to be the world's policeman. I'm opposed to it philosophically, but that's the truth. That's what we are. We keep order in the world. We keep lunatics like India and Pakistan from killing each other, because when they do kill each other, everybody gets involved in it. So that's kind of our role. We don't really have a choice. And the question is not whether we should do it or not, but how to do it wisely.
Well, how about this? Arguably, do we not have, this weaponry at any time? I mean, so we've been told, and I guess maybe it's flawed thinking if we think that we're the greatest and the strongest military country in the world, which I guess in turn makes us the policemen of the world. But I guess from what I can gather, we have some great technology and some great intelligence. We could. But we're we want to be the policemen of the world, but we want to be pussy policemen. And rather than to go out and carry, our 45 caliber handgun, we want to carry batons only. And so we try to rule with a baton when we should be ruling with an automatic weapon.
That's a really excellent metaphor. I plan to steal it. I think you're exactly right.
We're like those Keystone Cops that they give you a baton and I know what it's like. We're like Indiana Jones. Remember that guy came out, Britain, he had all these swords and stuff, and Indiana Jones shot him?
Yes.
But
Great scene.
We're bringing a whip and a sword to a gun battle. Now we have guns. We got a whole pack of them, but we're going to bring a whip. And we're a bunch of Keystone Cops. All we have is batons. When we have the technology, we have so much technology that we can make literally a parking lot in a minute, but we're such pussies. Not the men and women that are on the front line, but the people that govern them. We're such pussies. And you know what? Pakistan and Afghanistan, they know damn well that we just sit here and blab our big fat mouths, and we never really just, less Nagasaki and Hiroshima when we had our boy, Harry S. Truman, that's not afraid to make you a postage stamp if you're some, guy over there in Nagasaki. He could care less that you got burned in the side of the building, bitch. I'm going to end this war with an exclamation point. And look what happened. Look what happened.
Yes.
Well,
you're right.
Well, if we said, okay, bitch, this is what we're going to do. Boom, and we made that a parking lot, Pakistan, Afghanistan, or whatever stand we got a problem with. And we just, we take Brent. It's like almost the Iran hostage situation. When Carter patty caked Baker's band, we were a bunch of pussies. Rapping Ronnie Reagan went in there, and 3, 4, 5 days into his presidency, we had the guys out of there.
I think it was as soon as Ronald Reagan took office.
444 days prior.
No, it was within hours of him being sworn in.
That's right.
Literally.
Yeah. I think as soon as he took office, they let him go because they wanted nothing to do with dealing with Reagan.
Wasn't it 444 straight days?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Tucker? Yes, I think that's right.
444
the
days.
Hostages in Iran. Yeah, Mark Bowden has a great book on that, by the way. Totally worth reading. But look, I agree with you. I mean, on the other hand, brutality for its own sake and stupid brutality, obviously, is beneath us.
We're stupid brutality. People, how much more money do we? How much more do we have to just absolutely bankrupt our country? 12, 15 billion a month over there, and how many more? How much is American life worth?
Look, you're preaching to the choir, man. I totally agree with you. I think here are the facts as far as I see them. Yes, we're the world's policemen. Yes, we will always be, as long as we're powerful, the world's policemen. No, we don't have to ensure that other people have free elections and a high standard of living. That's not our job. Our job is to, in other words, the cops don't make sure that you have a job and a happy family, right? No. They make sure that you don't commit crimes. And that's our job, is to make sure, to the extent we can, that lunatics don't destabilize the world and hurt us and our interests. So we say to them, knock it off. But we don't have to go in there and say, oh, here are free elections.
No, we say knock it off.
Women need to go to school. That's not our business.
No, you know what we do? You know what we are? We're a bunch of pussies, and we're not spanking our kids anymore. We're talking them to death. And when you spank a kid, and there's actually a little retaliation. They have something to be afraid of. They don't act like a dick again. But meanwhile, when you put them in a timeout, they'll do it again and again and again. Well, we're putting all the bad people in timeouts, talking them to death, and we're not blasting them with the wooden spoon like we should be. Had we gone and made a few examples out of some people and blew up a few countries and killed a few people around here and made some parking lots out of places, maybe people will take us a little bit more seriously.
Well, we did that in Iraq. We did that in the early days of the war. We took the government of Iraq and eliminated it in about 20 minutes, and then we killed the dictator, Saddam Hussein. The problem, which is fine as far as I'm concerned, the problem is we got sucked into creating a brand new happy life for the people of Iraq. And that's just not our job.
And people that are insane are not going to be up for you creating a life for them.
Well, but they don't want what we want.
No.
They don't. We're very interested in abstract ideas like freedom and choice, and they are not interested in those things at all.
They're interested in us not being there.
That's what they're interested in.
And that's why they hate us.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Sure, they have a medieval lifestyle that they like, and I don't like it, but frankly, I think we should let them, if they don't want to allow women to drive cars. I disagree with that. I think girls should be able to drive, but I don't really see it as worth the life of a single American to change that. I just don't.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but, the bottom line, it's just, now we got this president, who I voted for, and call me an idiot, that I thought, one of the reasons why I voted for him is because I thought McCain was all about continuing this. Well, now the guy that I voted for is doing the same thing. But I think somebody warned you about that. I can't remember who it was, a guy down in Washington. He's a guy but that same guy also sends his kids to boarding school and has no love in his heart. So, I take that guy I take him on a need to know
with
basis.
A grain of salt. Yeah, by the way, how's your president working out for you?
I don't know. I could care less right now at this point. I don't know. I don't know that anybody could work. I don't know that anybody could work out right now. And I think the only person that would be working out, in my opinion, is if somebody would just take the bull by the horns and get us out of Iraq.
He is weak. I'm telling you, this president is weak. And Hillary Clinton, as much as I know everyone dislikes her and she's angry and off-putting and she hates men and all that, so it's all probably true. She is not weak. She is strong. I would rather have a bad, strong president than a bad, weak president.
I'll tell you, she's as a Secretary of State, she's a real ball buster.
I'm telling you right now, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Tucker. I really don't. I don't disagree with you at all. I thought that Barack Obama would have had us out by now, or at least given us some type of hope. Instead, it seems like we're just going to continue to do the same old.
We're going to surge.
Yeah. But let me ask Brent a question as a veteran, a former military man, a Marine. If you're the commander-in-chief and your general in charge of the region gives a speech that basically says you're a dummy Can you stand for that?
No.
I mean, that is a total violation of the chain of command of civilian control over the military. Why is Obama standing for that?
I don't know, but it violates the UCMJ. You're absolutely right. That general should be, at the very least, relieved of his duties, if not court-martialed for that.
I agree completely. And even though I think he made some really good points, and I'm sure he's a great guy and he's a hero, and